Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nupehadda. I do apologize for another lack of video and everything like that. Things have been crazy. But I figure that since I'm going to work right now and have nothing else better to do for the next 15 to 18 minutes, we'll start talking about Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. A couple of days ago, at least by the time this video gets aired and everything like that, the Kava collection, the legendary Kava collection got announced in terms of its list and the mega packs and everything like that. And those reprints, oh my god, especially the one card I didn't think was going to be in this, and that is Ash Blossom, becomes an ultra rare. Now originally I thought they kept the rarities as the same, but pardon me, that didn't happen. Ash Blossom being an ultra rare is kind of an interesting thing for me. For one, that means you are going to be a little bit cheaper. I don't know how much. But two, if, and this is going to be highly unlikely, if they don't short print it, it could be one of those cards you can easily get a hold of, which means I can actually finally get some Ash Blossoms that are not going to be expensive to the point where I go bankrupt. So, also we got some newer cards, and some cards that got alternate artwork, namely Blue Eyes White Dragon is getting 4 different artworks. We don't know what they are yet, but I've heard they're supposed to be new artworks, so we'll see what happens on that. Loop of Destruction. Now, we already got the majority of the effects except how much damage it does. What it is, it's a continuous trap card. While it's on the field, it is treated as Ring of Destruction. Which, if I recall, Kava had the Claw of Critios, if I'm pronouncing that right. Which works with Ring of Destruction to bring out Destruction Dragon, which is also a new card. Now, Loop of Destruction states that whenever a card, I believe it says card, I want to say card, but let's just assume it might be just monster for now. Whenever a monster is destroyed, excluding the damage step by card effect, you can destroy one card on the field and does X amount of damage to both players, I believe. Now, there's a problem with this. One, if they do what I think they're going to do, that means this is Ring of Destruction all over again. And it defeats the purpose of herediting the Ring of Destruction if Loop of Destruction is going to do the same damage at the same time versus the power of the monster or whatever. Unless this is going to be destroy monster and do X amount of damage for the monster itself and not base it on the attack or defense points. That would be a bit more fair. But if they do it by attack power or defense power, then this is going to turn deadly, because Ring of Destruction was originally banned and then heredited later on for one particular reason. It would cause ties, and Konami does not like having to deal with ties. Now, what I mean by that is that in regionals, championships, and everything like that, you generally cannot win a main event if you have a tie or a draw in your record. If you can just power through and win every other game and everything like that, you can do it. But if your opponent keeps drawing you in a game, in a match, then your records are going to suck. So Konami decided to ban Ring of Destruction for this purpose. Now, Destruction of Ring still exists, but it only does 1,000 points of damage to both players. So it was never used. I'm surprised it hasn't been used yet by Trickstars, but that's a rant that I've already done before. But anyways, if Loop of Destruction does the exact same thing as Ring of Destruction in terms of its burn, this is not going to end well. At least for anyone who's wanting to win regionals and everything. Now, for casuals, it's going to be even worse because, well, Trickstars is a thing, and Trickstars love these type of cards. Now, Destruction Dragon It's only a 2,000 attack, 3,000 defense, so I don't see him being attacking that much. He might just attack an open field after he burns you, but pretty much once per turn he can destroy a card. If that card is a monster, do damage equal to the original monster's defense. Okay, most monsters nowadays have low defense, except for super heavy samurais. Yeah, that's gonna be a thing. I can see that being a counter to them. Then I would normally justify that, but we have Flutus, so anyway. Also, Goddess of Vengeance. This card pretty much states whenever your opponent does a direct attack and you control no cards, you can discard this card from your hand, special summon a monster from your deck. So I'm assuming it does not ignore the summoning conditions on the monsters, which means you're not going to get a Black Luster Soldier on the beginning on the field. But that is quite powerful. Granted, you have to have no cards in hand or on field to do it. If I remember this effect correctly. If I'm wrong, please tell me. But a lot of people are like, it's not that good. And I'm looking at it like, I've been in so many scenarios where that could have been helpful. Now, the question is, do you run at 3, 1, or 2, or what? Well, Max C is no longer a thing, which I'm sad about, but that's what happens. But Goddess of Vengeance could be a thing. In its own deck, maybe. Side deck? Not in this format. Maybe later on the room. But there's a lot of interesting cards that are coming out of this. And Card Destruction is going to be coming out, but it's a stupid secret rare, so I think... or Card Demise, I'm sorry, not Card Destruction. But also, Delinquent Duel became a secret rare. And a reprint. Which I'm kind of surprised, because unless Delinquent Duel is coming off the list in the near future, the only people I'm going to see this running is in the GOAT format, and I'm just not about that. That being said, the Kava Legendary Collection thing looks pretty interesting. I'm not going to be buying a box. I'd rather go to TCG Player or Ideal 808 to get these cards. Mostly from Ideal 88, even though it's a little bit more expensive. I have never had an issue with these guys, and when I did have an issue, I called them up and they helped me fix it. So that was getting the two tails of the Noble Knights. That's a long story, but it was mostly my fault on that. Anyways, now I currently have no decks. I went and sorted everything out, put everything back into my books and everything like that, for a couple of reasons. One, when I do this, it clears my mind of what I want to do. And two, I have to look at what the new format is doing. Now, I might be thinking competitively in a sense, but that's just my mindset I've had for years. I might be retired from the competitive market, but I still keep an eye on things, because if you don't keep an eye on things, things can go bad real quickly. So the only way I would not pay attention to this from a competitive standpoint is if I completely decide to not play Yu-Gi-Oh anymore. But that's not going to happen anytime soon. Now, that being said, right now I don't have any decks online either that I am willing to show videos on. I will eventually. And I have some new music, so it's not going to be anything impressive. It's more fitting music, I should say. But right now, I just don't have any videos to show in terms of duels, so I'm going to be doing this for a couple videos, and hopefully I will have enough videos to... Well, I'll have enough material that I've pre-saved and everything like that on the era, dawn of a new era. Pojo or Dev Pro type stuff, so I can show you some new stuff. But right now I don't have a deck. I don't have a deck in real life. I don't have a deck online. I do have experimental decks that I'm working on right now online, just to see how well they do, and I'm not seeing any good progress on it. There is one deck idea I want to do, and that is a pure Dark Warrior build. And this is mostly going to be the Phantom Knight build, but I want every card to have two purposes, one on the field and one in the graveyard. Now that doesn't mean that that's excluding the warriors. That also means spells and traps that I'd use. So that means bravery skill and stuff like that, because we're getting in a scenario right now where we need to utilize everything we got versus hand traps. Evenly matched, Ash Blossom, Ghost Ogre, and all them, they are pretty much being a pain right now. They're hard to deal with, especially in the casual sense. There's only a few people who have these cards. Well, not the Ash Blossom. Well, there's one person I can think of that has an Ash Blossom, but he's more of a competitive player, so I don't count him on that. But Ghost Ogres and stuff like that are still a pain. And there was one card that came out. I have one copy right now. I might be getting two more, depending on the scenario. But Inspector Border. This card recently came out in the new set, and right now I am scared to death with this card. Pretty much, its wording is stupid, but once I look into it and everything like that, saw the ruling videos, saw how it plays and everything like that, now I get the understanding of it. Essentially, Inspector Border is a light machine, level 4, 2000 attack and defense. It cannot be normal or special summon unless you control no monsters on the field. So you don't have to worry about people with Monster Reborn or anything like that if they have monsters on their field. So you don't have to worry. While it's on the field, face up, and your opponent cannot activate any card effects except when they have certain monsters on the field, which is pendulums, link, fusion, rituals, synchros, and exceeds. But they can only activate for each one type. So if they have an exceed and a synchro on the field, they can only activate 2 monster effects. Now, Inspector Border does not negate anything, and he has to be on the field before a monster attempts to activate. This is the whole Abyss Dweller thing. Abyss Dweller cannot negate monster effects after, in a chain after they've already activated. But in this scenario, you have to deal with a body that says no to monster effects regardless of where they are, unless you control an extra deck monster or a ritual monster or a pendulum on the field. So people are like, well, we can easily get around this. That's true, but have you seen the anti-meta decks that are starting to run this crap? I feel like this card is definitely going to be breaking a lot of decks. Maybe not now, but we're in a situation right now where Ash Blossom and everything like that is destroying pretty much every deck right now. Pendulum Magicians are topping. Spirals are finally starting to whittle down because they just can't answer the field anymore. I mean, they can with any other deck, but Pendulum Magicians are just destroying them. And we got the new stuff out, which I don't think anything has been going big on that yet. At least not that I can tell. If there are, I have not noticed it yet. I'm pretty sure I will see it in time, but as of right now, Pendulum Magicians is the big thing at the moment. And I have heard that 6 Samurais have actually topped an event, at least sixth place. And the problem here is this: they are not the 6 Samurais that I'm used to. They are the 6 Samurais that's using the Draco field spell, which I cannot remember the name of it at the moment. And they're using some wacky combinations. I don't mind 6 Samurais trying to make a comeback. For me, it's mostly I can't play it the way they have it. It might just be I'm more old-fashioned about it and I want to get the archetype itself running, but I understand why they don't. Because right now, the archetype 6 Samurais could not compete in today's meta without outside help. And that's where they're using the Draco Masterpiece and stuff like that. So, Like, in terms of the meta, that's fine. They can do what they want. In terms of casual, I'll probably never do something like that. And if I do, it's mostly because I can finally get the stuff, and it's very cheap. I am, however, wanting to see how Ash Blossom does in the casual sense, since it'll be more easier for players to get a hold of. But also, the anti-meta people are going to have fun with this now because they can actually afford it, I think. We'll just see how the Ultra Rare does, but there's not really much more I can say on this because Ash Blossom itself, being a reprint, is pretty much golden. Carded Mize, being a secret rare, kind of hurts it, but who knows? That might allow the original to be cheaper. I don't know. But Pendulum Magicians are the big thing right now that people have to worry about. However, with the new anti-meta decks that are coming out, I can see them being a big rival to them. And that's only because that no one can really answer them. There's no answer to the anti-meta right now. They're running 3 Inspector Borders, 3 Banish Radiance, and all kinds of other stuff that you normally just can't deal with. So we'll just have to see how it plays out. But with that, I'm at work now, and I'll catch y'all later. Good evening.